What if your season of isolation is exactly what you need to become unstoppable? Grab a pen and paper or open up your notes app, because today we're going to talk about how you can harness the sacred time of peace and quiet to create the life of your dreams. A season of isolation is basically an extended period of time where a lot of your life has adjusted to you spending most of your time alone. Personally, I have had many of these seasons, and I'm an only child, but lately, I'm finding myself in the most profound season of isolation that I've experienced yet. These are my suggestions based on my own life experience on how to make the most of this time to yourself. Sometimes things happen little by little, and sometimes they happen all at once. When your life shifts or changes dramatically, it can take a while to adjust. What has been so helpful for me is radical acceptance. Radical acceptance to me is really just letting go of the fight between yourself and your current circumstances and what you wish they would be. It's really just deciding to unequivocally accept where you are at this time in life. If you're going through a breakup or a job loss, maybe your friendships have shifted. A lot of times we spend our energy fighting the current of our life, and radical acceptance is just acknowledging that this sucks, but this is where I am. And once you decide to accept that, then you can start moving forward. The next thing that I suggest, if you're going through this time of isolation, is really reflecting on how you got here. Was it a breakup, a job loss? Did you lose a loved one? Did you have a friendship fall apart? What was the circumstances that led you to this time where you are kind of retreating? I've talked about this a lot on this channel, but I had a combination of changes, and I really had to get clear on each one. And this is something that I still do. I don't think that it's a one and done task. You can keep exploring this, but you don't want to get stuck in the reflection. So once you kind of get clear on it, let it go. Something that might be helpful to know is that storytelling is such a fundamental part of the human experience. Our ancestors were storytellers, and it's something that has been passed down to us for thousands of generations. Storytelling is a part of being human, and having a clear grasp on your own story really can help you accept it and find hope and take out the lessons, and also maybe see the areas in where you can have compassion for yourself or compassion for the people in your life. There's so much that you can extract from your story, and it's very healing to tell your story. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't have a YouTube channel, or I'm not a writer. None of that even matters. There's so many ways that you can tell a story. You can write it down if you like to journal. I personally don't like to journal anymore. It feels really slow for me. So instead of writing down my thoughts, I like to voice record them, or make a video like this and put it out to you guys to watch. But when it's just me with my private thoughts, I will just open up a voice recording app and just record a monologue of how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, and kind of label it in a way that makes sense to me. That's really fun for me. But I have some other ideas on how you can tell your story too. You can write a poem about your life, the past few years of your life. You could make it a song. Another idea that I've been wanting to try myself actually for storytelling is making a collage. I have this idea of going on Pinterest and making my own private board and uploading my own photos to it and arranging the photos in a way that is like a collage that tells my story, like a storyboard. And I think I'm actually going to do that soon. I think it'll kind of help me process some of the abrupt changes that I've made lately. But, if you're a visual person and you don't really want to deal with the slow process of writing things, making it visual and putting it in, the form of photos, it's such a cool idea, and I can't wait to try it. And if any of you try it, please let me know. Put it in the comments, or, DM me on Instagram or something. I would love to know if you make a collage of, the last 5 years of your life, or the last 6 months of your life, whatever time period you want to put on it. No matter how you choose to tell your story, the whole point of it is that once you get clear on what led you to this season of solitude, then you can really set goals for this time and dig in and make the most of it, because it's a beautiful time to be alive. So now that we got some of that emotional stuff out the way, now it's time for the fun part, setting new goals or remembering the ones that you forgot about. I'm talking to myself. This is where we're going to need our notes. You can do this part however you like. The way that I do it, I like to split my paper up into 4 categories. And in each quadrant, you can put mind, body, spirituality, and money, finances, bank account. You get it. Think about each of these areas of your life. Think about in what ways have they improved, because they probably have improved in some ways, and which of these areas have you neglected a little bit. It happens. It's normal. Don't beat yourself up. It's not the end of the world. We're not robots. We're not supposed to just do the same thing all the time and David Goggins our way through life. If there are some areas of your life that are up and others that are down, I think that's pretty normal. But we're going to do a little audit of each of these areas and figure out what goals we can set to make the most of this time. I'm going to go first. Maybe while I'm talking, you can start jotting down what they are for you. So, mind. This area is one that I'm actually content with. Lately, I am spending my time learning about digital space, social media, marketing, content creation. This is my goal. For those of you that don't know, I am a UGC creator. I create content for brands, and I'm transitioning that from a hobby into a business. And in my digital content creator repertoire, I really want to move more towards doing this full time because I love it so much. I love connecting with you guys. I love making videos and thinking of things to talk about. So my mind has been focused on that 90% of the time. And if anything, I could do a better job balancing my mental energy and focus and taking a little bit of time to wind down. So that's mind. Body for me, well, let's just say I fell off the wagon. I'm looking at my iPad notes. Body, man. I take walks. I've been going on walks. This year I just got very thin. And so I've been just trying to eat more and I don't know, just relax. But I do love to lift weights and I'd like to get back in the gym soon. So I will set that as a goal, is to go back to the gym. But you know how hard it is to go back to the gym when you take time off? There's nothing worse than losing your gains and then having to go start the gains over at the gym. Please. My goal is to get back on my fitness vibe. Okay, so let's get into the spiritual category. Think about your, spirituality, how you relate to the world. Do you believe in something bigger than yourself? What is it that you fall back onto during a hard time? How do you process challenges or tragedies in your life? Think about if there's anything that you can do to feel more connected to your spirituality. If you're religious, how can you dive more into that? If you're spiritual, can you get more into nature? Whatever that is for you. For me, I'm actually the most happy with this department right now. I think this has been one of the most spiritual times that I've experienced, really, and I'm doing a good job. I'm going to give myself an A. All right, now the most favoritist category, I'm sure, is money. How do you want to improve money? How are you doing with money? Do you need to do a money date? Do you have a budget or anything like that? Even just doing an audit of money before you start just setting goals willy-nilly. You got to get clear on where you are financially right now. I go through my finances every Friday, so I just did this 2 days ago. There are definitely some areas where I want to improve that I'm going to be working on in 2025. I might make another video about that, so if you're interested in finances and stuff, personal finance, let me know because it's something that I really care about and I might be open to talking about it more in depth. But for this section of the notes, just get kind of clear on your finances, what you want out of that area of life. Okay, so now you've got your goals. When you get all good and ready and set for life, that's when the enemy likes to strike. So let's talk about coping with boredom and loneliness. Because there is nothing like a season of isolation or period of solitude without a little loneliness and boredom. And when you start to get bored, what do? You get on a dating app. You unblock that person that you know you're supposed to not unblock. I have to get creative with this one, but it all comes down to one simple rule. The best way to beat boredom is to stay busy. Hobbies are your new BFF. I just started working with air dry clay for the first time. I've literally never done this before. I think I've been to Color Me Mine twice, but I've never used clay at home. So trying out new hobbies, take a dance class, try a new workout routine, or maybe get a membership for like an online at-home Pilates. I used to have one of those and it was amazing. You're gonna want to find things to do that will keep you entertained, but not in a doom scrolling, like bed rotting kind of way. You can get into your community and find things to do so that you feel a sense of fulfillment and you get out of the house and you have something else to focus on other than your goals all the time. Because let's be realistic, you're a human, you're not a robot. You can't just work on your goals 24/7. This is also a great time for self-care. Instead of texting that clown, you can go do your hair care routine. You can do your nails at home, take a bath, make it luxurious. Really spend time on yourself. You're valuable and important, and there's only one of you. So going the extra mile to take care of yourself is always worth it. And I think when you look back on this time, you'll be so happy and content. You'll have a confidence that is unshakable because you know how to take care of yourself with or without the company of others. These sneaky little feelings come in and grip us right when we're on the precipice of really making huge strides in our lives. It's such a self-sabotaging experience, but having too much time on your hands or too much solitude can backfire, and it can create this agitation where you just miss going out. You miss being social. You miss seeing new people and getting to be gregarious and outgoing, especially if you are kind of an omnivert. And there is such a thing as too much time alone. So if you're watching this, please don't take this to the extreme. You don't need to be in isolation for the rest of your life. It could be a couple of months. It could be a couple of weeks. You can benefit from short intervals of time where you pull back socially and just focus on yourself. But life is meant to be shared, and you're meant to be loved, and people are meant to connect with other people. So this is not a lifestyle. This is just a temporary period of time that you might have to navigate, and we have to find ways to make the most of it. Once you get clear on what this time period is for, what goals you're working towards, what the future is for you, what's the next chapter in your career or your relationship or your fitness journey, once you're really focused on what comes next, it'll become easier to distance yourself from some of those sabotaging thoughts that come up. If you're dealing with a lot of uncertainty about the future, if you don't feel confident in where you're going, you definitely want to use this time to just explore things. You can use this time to try different classes, learn about different careers. You don't have to know exactly where you're going, but you don't want to get caught up in the questioning of what is going to happen next. Not a good place to be. If you made it this far in the video, I already know you're going to be okay. You care about yourself. You want the best for yourself. And we have that in common. I just trust you that you're going to make the best decisions and you're going to find the best ways to maximize this time in your life. There's nothing wrong with being a little bored and having a lacking social life for a period of time. I think that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So let me know in the comments, what season are you in of life right now and how are you getting through it? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.